Chapter 1936. Overlord 1. Zhang Yi was not frightened by the tone of voice of these strange people in the tavern. He looked at Odibio in the corner. He looked lifeless, with his head lowered, and not saying a word. "Did you do all this, Odibio?" When Odibio heard Zhang Yi calling his name, he seemed to have suddenly regained consciousness and slowly raised his head. His eyes were hollow and out of focus. "Odibio, I am Chaos. Don't you remember me?" Zhang Yi already felt something was wrong at this time. Odibio's condition was extremely strange. Why did he appear here? Zhang Yi shouted Odibio's name loudly. His body suddenly shook violently, and his lightless pupils slowly began to focus. Chaos. His voice sounded like it came from hell. Zhang Yi felt his skin go a little cold. Odibio's condition was extremely strange. "Have you fallen? Have you become a ghost walker now?" Zhang Yi asked coldly. "A ghost walker?" Odibio's eyes were dark. "No. But I can no longer leave here." He stared at Zhang Yi with a very strange smile on his face. "Because I'm already dead." Chaos. Zhang Yi's expression became a little serious. He originally thought that Odibio entered the space before him and was then controlled by something in the tavern. But he didn't expect that he died. He actually died so easily. Zhang Yi sighed. "Isn't the AO family known as the nemesis of the Ghost Walker? I didn't expect you to die so quickly." AO de Biao suddenly became excited. He slammed the table, stood up, and screamed, "I succeeded in sealing the immortal evil baby. I succeeded. The glory of the AO family has become dim in my hands. I was plotted against, and someone assassinated me." Zhang Yi's eyes flashed, and he thought of the man who secretly attacked him at that time. Who killed you?" "No, I didn't see him. He took advantage of my mental and physical worst state after I sealed the undead infant and killed me from behind." "What a shame. What a shame that I died like this. I can't seal that demon anymore." Well, Zhang Yi was somewhat emotional and comforted her softly. "Don't worry, I will kill that person and avenge you." Odibio looked at Zhang Yi with a strange smile on his face. "You won't have such an opportunity again, because you will die here too. Look around you. All the people here are dead souls. They are just like you and me. They are all powerful people from different eras who came here to seal the demon god. There are even powerful humans from the era before us. But they are all dead, and their souls are forever confined to this dead road, and no one can escape it." Odibio suddenly stretched out his dried chicken claw-like hands towards Zhang Yi, like a ghost demanding his life, and shouted in a shrill voice, "Come on, you want to die here too?" The souls from different times sitting on the surrounding wine tables looked at Zhang Yi with a half-smile and made mocking and cruel noises. "I can't. I have something else to do at home. I'll leave now. I'll burn paper for you another day." Zhang Yi waved his hand, and then he quickly opened the dimensional door. "There are too many people here. If what Odibio said is true, each of them is a top extraordinary person of each era. He must break away from the encirclement." Shwa. Zhang Yi disappeared from the spot, but he reappeared the next moment, as if nothing had happened. "The Death Tavern is the entrance to hell. Once you come here, don't even think about leaving," the nun with a face like Shura said in a deep voice. He. All the dead souls looked at Zhang Yi with a sneer, as if they were looking at a poor creature struggling to death. In the distant past, they had tried to do the same thing as Zhang Yi, but all of them failed without exception. Therefore, they knew that there was no hope for the human being before them. Moreover, those who are trapped in the endless hell have a natural malice towards those who have free lives. They hope that everyone will suffer the same pain of eternal imprisonment as they do. Not necessarily. Zhang Yi's tone remained calm. He has never put himself in danger in his life, including now. If he hadn't been fully prepared, how could he have entered the tavern? "Don't struggle anymore. You can't escape." Odibio screamed, and black smoke began to emerge from his body, and he turned into the appearance of the beast god Khan. Zhang Yi remained indifferent and just silently opened the secondary door. "You still won't give up?" No matter how many times you try, you can't get out of here. As soon as he finished speaking, a huge blue light exploded in the tavern. Boom! The door opened towards the ceiling, and with a loud bang, an extremely huge bronze pillar rushed out. Sealed object, the Spear of Longinus. It was originally a sacred vessel used to seal the giant god Mammon of Druk. As soon as the Spear of Longinus appeared, it directly smashed the roof of the tavern, allowing the sunlight from outside to shine in. I'm leaving now.
Bye.
Zhang Yi leaped up and flew out of the tavern. He soared into the air, looking at the Hell Tavern below, which had been pierced by a huge bronze pillar. The area where you're trapped is likely to have restrictions on rule-based abilities. How could I be so stupid as to not think of this? You must be kidding. The Spear of Longinus is a sealing artifact that can even seal Mammon, let alone a rule-restricted venue of this level. He used his divine power to control the Spear of Longinus and raised it up, then swung it fiercely towards the tavern below. Although the huge lance of Longinus had no offensive power, its material and weight alone were enough to completely destroy the tavern. It would be best if the ghosts inside could be smashed to death as well. Of course, that's not very practical. Sure enough, when the Spear of Longinus whistled down, those powerful ghosts rushed out of the tavern. A purple arm stretched out from the tavern and grasped the Spear of Longinus tightly. Boom! Suddenly, there was a loud thunder in the sky. The sky, which was already gloomy, became even more cloudy. Lightning flashed through the clouds like silver snakes. Those terrible thunders flashed by, as if they were going to cut the sky in two. It was unknown how long they stretched out. A huge figure emerged from the tavern and stood far away from Zhang Yi. When Zhang Yi saw its appearance, his eyes became extremely sharp. He had seen many giant beasts of extraordinary sizes in his life, the largest of which was the Mammon that appeared in the Tianyu Palace and plundered the ocean of spiritual essence. Chapter 1937. Overlord 2. Zhang Yi had seen the terrifying demon Mammon before. His huge body and aura made his blood run cold, and he couldn't even think of fighting against him. But at that time, the distance between him and Mammon was extremely far, so the feeling of oppression was not strong enough. But now, in front of him, there was a supergiant beast that was 1 or 2 kilometers tall. This is an extremely huge creature. Even Huahua in her second form looks like a toy in front of it. Zhang Yifei had to raise his head to see its appearance in the air. It was so huge that clouds were entwined around it, making it appear looming, and thunder flashed around it like ribbons. It stood on the ground with 2 feet, its body was covered with purple scales, its head was like a crocodile and a lizard, and it had a long tail behind it. It stood there like an ancient god. This guy must be from ancient times. In ancient times, creatures used their size as a criterion for combat power. The larger the creature, the stronger its combat power. So the creatures of that era were much larger than those today. Fatty Su said tremblingly, How do we fight this thing? Zhang Yi nodded. Yeah, how are you going to beat me with such a big guy? The huge size certainly represents great destructive power, but in its eyes, Zhang Yi is probably no more than a mosquito. However, with such a huge size difference, it is not easy to perform well. On the contrary, it would be much easier for Zhang Yi to hit the opponent. After the initial shock wore off, he quickly began to formulate a battle plan in his mind. Around the purple dragon, souls from other hell taverns were floating. Who of us goes first? The nun said in a cold voice. Let me go first. The purple dragon roared like thunder. No one of you is allowed to interfere. I will personally send him to death. Others did not express any opinions. All the souls who could be trapped in the tavern were once outstanding and powerful ones. Now they are too disdainful to attack a post-human. The purple dragon stared at Zhang Yi and said in a deep voice, Remember my title, the Descendant Human. My name is Tyrant of Heaven and Earth. Zhang Yi nodded. I will remember this. I will burn some paper for you during the next Qingming festival. Yang Xinxin's voice rang in Zhang Yi's ears. Do you want me to come? Her abilities were perfect for dealing with such a huge target. No, he doesn't look for help, and neither do we. Zhang Yi responded. Because once Yang Xinxin takes action, all the souls on the other side will also take action. According to Odibio's performance in the tavern, these souls at least possessed the strength of a bishop when they were alive. Zhang Yi waved his hand, and all things in the universe opened up. Although nearly half of the secondary gate was destroyed by the undead infant, only half of the gate is left, which still has extremely strong defensive power. The purple dragon stood in the distance like a huge mountain. He raised his arms high and called upon the thunder in the sky. Boom! Boom! The roar of thunder grew louder and louder, from the end of the sky to the horizon in the other direction. The lightning split everything that could be seen by the naked eye. With the majesty of thunder, I will rule the world. Ba Tianju, Di's deep voice echoed in the sky, and then Zhang Yi saw the sky above him. Endless thunder condensed into a huge vortex. It was unknown how far the layers of thunderclouds extended to the sky, but he could feel that the energy contained in them was enough to destroy a city. Tyrant's arms fell down suddenly, followed by endless lightning, with him as the center, sweeping madly in all directions. It indiscriminately attacked everything around it, and both Huang Qian and Shi Lu suffered devastating blows. The huge thunder made everything in front of Zhang Yi covered with lightning, as if a huge curtain was hanging down from the endless sky and then pressing towards him like a tidal wave. Facing such an attack, there is no point in dodging. Zhang Yi stared, stood in midair, raised his left hand, and pointed his fingers forward. God's domain purification. Boom! The thunderstorm quickly passed through the space where Zhang Yi was. The silver lightning destroyed everything that could be destroyed, turning the earth into a scorched earth. However, this piece of land, including the cracked road, quickly recovered after being destroyed. The world created by Mammon's dreams cannot be destroyed by any external force unless Mammon wakes up or dies. The space where Zhang Yi stood was not damaged at all. He used the divine realm purification technique to open up a distorted space in front of him, forming an absolute vacuum field. Even the lightning that dominates the sky and the earth cannot penetrate this field. The first attack of Tyrant Jedi did not cause any harm to Zhang Yi, which made him curious, because his ability was the most powerful pure attack ability. Even an opponent of the same level would not be able to remain so calm when dealing with this move. A space-type ability user with strong defensive capabilities? Interesting. At this time, the other ghosts had already hidden far away, watching the battle between the two leisurely. The ghost-faced nun said, "This guy seems to have some strength." On the other side, the 6-meter-tall giant wearing golden armor murmured, "If you don't have a certain level of strength, who would dare to enter this place? Were we not the same in the past? We thought we were powerful and tried to attack the demon god of the ancient era." An old man with a white beard and scruffy clothes said calmly, "Let's see if he can get past the purple lizard. The battle has just begun." They were not in a hurry at all because entering this place was like falling into hell. They have almost an eternity to face everything. I finally found a good one today, which I can use to kill some time. After blocking Ba Tian Jedi's attack, Zhang Yi was ready to fight back. The divinely refined metal fibers in his left hand quickly condensed into a huge hand cannon with a barrel over 1 meter long, a caliber of 30 millimeters, and a dazzling red color throughout. The ability of a weapon is to carry the user's own power and to fire ammunition. The materials on Yichigel's body are of the top level on this planet, so it can fully exert all of Zhang Yi's strength. The muzzle of the gun was pointed at Tyrant. A twisted black hole suddenly appeared behind Zhang Yi, and in the blink of an eye it turned into a huge black vortex with a diameter of hundreds of meters. A force filled with the aura of annihilation permeated the air. The moment the black vortex appeared, the state of all the dead souls changed instantly. That is the breath of the devil. Dear viewers, thanks for staying with me. We'll try to get you more updates. Please like and subscribe and share the video with your friends. Love you all.